Roy once said, "The greatest tragedy in life is not death, but it is living a life without purpose." A very good morning to the viewers out there and welcome to the Super Soul Show. I am your host, Dorcas Owano. On our today's show, we will be discussing a very, very important topic, and it is living life, living a purposeful life. So many people ask themselves, what is living a purposeful life? When do we say that a person is living a purposeful life? If you've been having these questions in your mind, then the good news is that today they are coming to an end. I'm joined together with a fantastic gentleman. He is a motivational speaker. He is a mentor. He is the founder of the Mentor Me program. He is a sportsman. He has really achieved a lot in life. He's just so many things in one. And he's such a good energy to have around. So with me here is our guest of today, Martin Owila. Martin Owila, welcome so much. We are so much humbled and privileged to have you here. And maybe some of the people out there have seen you, maybe they've heard your story and they've been inspired. But today again, we would like to hear more from you so that those who do not know you may get to know how your journey has been. And at the same time, you'll also be in a position to discuss with us what you understand by living a purposeful life. So who is Owila?
This Mountain University. I was doing public health. That is under the community health development. I'm also a sportsman. I play rugby for KCB Sports Club, KCB Rugby Football Club. I'm also a student leader, former student leader, so leadership is part of what I do in various sectors, yeah.
Wow.
And I'm also a youth leader in my local church. So it's basically all leadership positions, given things that we are able to do. So that is basically Martin Owila.
Yeah, then you're the founder of the Mentor Me program.
Yes.
So tell us about the foundation.
The Mentor Me program is a mentorship program that actually focuses on inspiring people. Basically, we measure on the youth. Yeah, we try to have an impact on their attitudes and also their mental capabilities. Trying to make them understand that as youths and as people, we have a lot within us. So we should not really be, defined by one thing. We are multifaceted, so we can be able to do various things at one point. So that is what the mentorship program tries to achieve. We have some of our core values that is abbreviated as SIM card. So just the same way you insert a SIM card to a SIM for it to function, that is what we do to the various people that we visit. I've been visiting institutions, I visit organizations, I visit foundations, and sometimes you are welcome to the media as you have done. And so that is what we try to achieve, so that someone has these core values. And the SIM card is an abbreviation. The S stands for spirituality, where I believe everyone has someone they are looking up to, everyone has that inner peace, everyone has that higher being, that they look up to. And then I stands for integrity, M stands for the mental capability, C stands for character, because you realize as much as we have capacity, without character we are limited to do certain things. Yeah?
True, yeah.
And then A stands for attitude. Attitude is basically everything that we do. And then we have R, which is responsibility. And as Bishop Oyedepo said, that responsibility is the price for greatness. And Miles Munro also said that we can't do any other thing unless we are what? We are responsible in many ways. And then the last one is D, which stands for diligence, discipline, dedication. In everything that we do, we need discipline. In everything that we do, be it sports, be it athletics, be it, music, be it dancing, anything that we do as individuals, we need to have diligence, we need to have dedication, and also we need to ensure that discipline is part of what we do. So that is all about the Mentor Me program.
Wow, that's so fantastic. Maybe there's some people that have heard your story before. Of course, you are also in Y24 where you shared your story, how your life has been, and we would like you to share with us how your story has been before we go to living a purposeful life.
Oh, sure. Well, most of the time we share our stories to inspire, and we don't share our stories to demean or to brag about it, but because someone also might be going through what you have gone through, and so by sharing your story with him or her, you get to be inspired a lot, yeah. So basically, at one point I didn't know I would be in a university. because of how life was, growing up with a single mother, living with aunties and uncles at one point, and you are not stable at a certain point.
Yeah.
And so it reached a time I stayed out of school after Form 4 for like 3 years out, because I could not, access certain basic things to join a college or to join a university, which I knew was temporal in a way. But staying out of school for 3 years did make me to lose hope. Yeah?
Yeah.
I had that purpose, I had that vision that will still drive me, and I admired my peers who are going to school, and some were going to different areas of institution. So what I did, I decided to be doing different programs. By then CDC was booming in Kisumu, and so we had these small programs that we were doing in the town. So we'd have one month program of this and that, 2 months. So I used to do that, keeping myself busy, preparing myself.
For those 3 years?
Yeah, for those 3 years.
Wow.
And then I used to act, apparently. I used to act a lot. So acting in church, there's a lady who spotted me and asked me, how is school? And I told her, Mrs. Jobita, I'm not yet going to school. And so she's the one who decided to take me to do my certificate.
Wow.
She gave me part of a scholarship that was 40%. And so I managed to do my certificate and I graduated. And I call people because that was, to me, was an achievement.
It's true.
To me, it was a purpose that I have really achieved. And then with the rugby that I used to play, it came a point that we were playing Nakuru Rugby Football Club. It was a tournament called the Enterprise Cup. So that was our first win against Nakuru, playing for the Enterprise Cup. And they decided to call 5 of us who went to play for Nakuru. And that is how I landed in Nakuru town. So being in Nakuru town, what I decided to do, I decided to enroll for a diploma in Mount Kenya University, Nakuru campus. Yeah, so I'll play sports and then pay my fee, play sports. And I finished that. And as I continue to achieve, they usually say the way to the top in a building is by going through every staircase. Yeah. So achieving the certificate, I decided, the diploma is also coming in handy. And that is when I got called to the national team. And that is how the news reached main campus. And so with their interest, they decided to bring me to main campus. And that is how I landed on doing my bachelor's. So basically it's a story of up and down, but as we always say, there is nothing that is permanent. Everyone has a story, everyone is going through stuff, everyone is going through challenges, but these things are not permanent, okay? The only thing that now we need to have in mind as youth is that someone once told me, a teacher of mine in Nakuru, by the name Madam Faith Muhonja, she said that nobody owes you anything in this world. Nobody owes you anything. So we should stop murmuring and complaining and set our foot to grinding. And so it's been up and down, but the up and downs has been leading to more of progress. Yeah, if you take what you're doing positively and put more energy and stop blaming people and stop making excuses, then I believe with that we can be able to go much further. Yes.
It has indeed been a journey for you, but we thank God that you're here today, and you're indeed a sweet inspiration to so many people. So many people are looking up to you as their mentor, and it is such an awesome thing. So today's topic, we are discussing about living a purposeful life. And so many people have been asking, when do we say that someone is living a purposeful life? When will they know that they're living a purposeful life? So according to you, what do you think when we say someone is living a purposeful life?
Purposeful, well, it's a really wide topic per se. But every one of us as individuals, we have a purpose. In fact, everything has a purpose, because purpose simply means the reason why. The reason why we live, the reason why something is created, or the reason why you are doing something. So, for example, the microphone you are holding has its purpose.
It's true.
And if it learns to, we give an example of a baby. If you give a baby a microphone, he or she doesn't know the purpose for that microphone. So he or she might end up abusing it, because he might use it for any other thing. He might knock it down, he might use it to knock other things, because he doesn't know the purpose for the microphone. But for someone who knows the purpose of a microphone, the purpose of something, it becomes easy. It becomes effective. It becomes, efficient in terms of maximizing it. And so that is also the same with us. If you know your purpose in life, which everyone has, If you have your purpose in terms of ambition, if you have your purpose in terms of gifts and talents, then basically you tend to live a life that is effective, that is also moving from one growth to another. Yeah? Ni kama mtoi anazaliwa. Anytime a child is born, tunajua atatambaa, and then at certain point he begins to tatter. At some point he begins to walk and then run and then fly. Yeah? Because with purpose, you are supposed to be moving from one step to another. You are supposed to be impacting lives. Yeah? And we have a challenge when it comes to us maximizing our purposes. Because at one point it becomes how we use our passion towards things, or how we use our leadership skills and position. Yeah, because many people want to leave a legacy. Yeah, they feel my purpose is to leave a legacy, and basically you can't say a legacy is leaving, you know, big buildings or wealth or status or position. Legacy, just like purpose, is all about impacting on people's lives. So every life you touch, that is a legacy that you've left. Every life you touch, and you cannot touch lives unless you're doing it with purpose. And so when it comes to purpose, we have to be doing things intentionally. We have to do things also looking at the fact that there is someone looking up to me. There's something you mentioned, that there are people that are looking up to you. And everyone has people looking up to them. Everyone is a mentor in his own way. And the question now would be, with your purpose, are you doing something that is impacting on someone positively? Because at the end of the day, growing up, I used to watch these movies. There's one that we call Tai Chi. If you've watched these movies, and you realize that there are two people in these movies. There's the master, and there is someone who is being trained. Yeah? And you realize that most of the time, the person being trained will want to be better than the master. And so that is a positive thing and a dangerous thing. Because if you are teaching, if you're using your purpose to teach people positively, they'll want to be better than you. They'll want to be greater than you in that positive way. And also that goes to the negative part of it. If you're influencing people negatively, if you're influencing people in a bad and the wrong way, they'll also want to be better than you in that wrong way. Okay? And so we create a whole with purpose, we create a society. Yeah, we create a community, or we create a system whereby people want to be better than others, which is a good thing. It's always joy to see people coming, or your mentees, or people that follow you, or people that you are guiding, just like a father. Any father or any mother or any parent will want to see their daughters and sons and children being greater than them. Okay? Because when you plant a seed, and this seed is not growing up, there is no joy in that seed. The purpose of a seed when planted is that it shall be watered. So there is a generation that is watering this seed. There is a generation that will trim the tree. And as the tree continues to grow, everyone enjoys the shade, everyone enjoys the fruit. So that is all about we living a purposeful life. Basically, it's all about impacting and knowing who you are. You know who you are, you know whose you are. Every morning you wake up and you ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why have you invited Awila in the show? Why do you have this crew? Why not the other people? Okay? Because it means that there is something you've identified in them that makes them bring the best out of them.
So when you talk of living a purposeful life, like at what age did you discover that now I think I know my purpose and I have to fulfill it?
Well, I wouldn't be specific in terms of age. But growing up, there are certain things that we have. There are certain things that excite us. There are certain things that makes us want to do more. There are certain things you'll do whether you are paid or not. Okay? That is being driven by passion. And you see, passion is related to your purpose. Okay? Because growing up, you have gifts, you have talents, we have ambitions. Those things we go to the university to achieve as careers. My ambition is to be a public health officer. My ambition is to be a doctor. My ambition is to be an animal health practitioner. My ambition is to be a media personalist, a teacher, a nurse. Those are ambitions. And then we have callings. And then we have visions. And then we have gifts and talents, okay? Someone can just, sing without even being trained. We have people in sports, we have people in athletics. All this combined are able to tell you that, your purpose is tied to one of these. or your purpose is tied to this.
Yeah.
The time I realized I'm able to balance things, because that was always the question. Growing up and during my high school life, I used to have grades up and down, okay? Because first term ikifika niko games, second term ikifika naenda drama, third term ikifika niko music, okay? Because I just want to get out of school. And that is how I lived my life. And my parents came at one point when I was in Form 4 because of the change in grades. And that was the question, what is happening? Why is it that I have change in grades? And the answer was, your son is not usually in school most of the time. He's in everything. And so I realized if I don't manage myself going forward on how to balance these things, then I'll fail. They say jack of all trades, master of none, which is true. But also we have people who have been able to exhibit various personalities, okay? So I realized that, you know what, let me sit down with myself, let me ask myself questions. I know I'm a sportsman, I know I'm an actor, I know I can play drums, I'm in youth ministry, I'm in leadership, I'm a volunteer with the Kenya Red Cross. How do I balance all these things to achieve the one thing that I'm doing? Because every one of us can do that. You can't say that you as a person in your life, unaweza tu fanya kitu moja. It's a lie. Just like a body is made, you have hands, you have head, you have ears. All these things work together to achieve one thing. And that is for the success of the body moving from one point to the other. The relationship between the mind and the body. Okay? And so it doesn't really matter in terms of time, but I believe the moment you've realized your visions and dreams, the moment you're able to identify your gifts and your talents, then at that point you should be able to sit down with yourself and tell yourself, my purpose in life is in line with this. Yeah? And it is something that you do willingly, you do effortlessly. Anything they drive you to do is not in line with your purpose. If you're being forced to do 1, 2, 3 things, it's not in line with your purpose. But anything that makes you just wake up, you do it with joy, you do it so willingly. I do a lot of mentorship. Some places I get invited, I get paid. Some they appreciate you with a bahasha. But some places they just call you to be able to hear from you. They don't give you anything, but it still gives me joy. Why? Because it's something that makes me do it easily.
You're passionate.
My passionate. So how is it? How do we blend the gifts and talents that we have? So I've realized I'm able to do mentorship. I've realized I'm able to talk to people. I've realized I can inspire someone. So I use my gifts and talents to do that. So as a sportsman, it's easy for me to talk to sports people because I understand what they go through. I understand their process. I understand the journey.
Because you've been there.
Because I've been there. Okay? As a student, I understand I can be able to talk to students. As a student leader, I know the position of leadership, the challenges, the temptation, and the many pressure that comes with it. So it's also easy for me to do what? To have a mentorship session with, leaders of various kinds. Yeah? And also as a Christian, growing up in a Christian family, and also being able to be in leadership setups of a Christian union, it's easy for me to talk to teens or to talk to youth in a church setup. So it's basically having all that you have to impact on others with the same experiences that you've been through. Yes.
Wow, that's so wonderful. So you've said that after your Form 4, you're away from school for 3 years.
Yeah, away from school.
Did you feel maybe like God has forsaken you, or you just felt you were alone and no one was caring about you? Did you have that feeling?
Yeah, the feeling was there. But at one point I wasn't looking forward to it, because you look at your background, you look at the level of, your mom or your dad or your situation, and sometimes you don't force things.
Yeah.
And so it was 50-50. The only time that struck me is when I saw my peers now, some had, because it was 3 years, some had done certificates, some had done diplomas, some were in university. And sometimes that pressure comes because you see your peers making it to school, you are at home, you are just doing your normal hustling. Or I used to do all sorts of stuff. I would do squad, I did car wash, did one like posters, anything that will bring something to the table.
It's true.
I'll do. There is something that happens in Kisumu, and I think it happens still now. We will identify friends and families who stay alone. We call them the bachelors, yeah? And so what we'll do, we used to do cleaning for them. Me, my cousin Evans, and my cousin Fred. We were more than friends than cousins. So So if you are living alone, to identify, we talk to you, you're a busy guy, you give us some money and we'll do clean up compound, or meaning.
Yeah.
It's something that also men do. The only thing that now ladies have measured on is washing clothes. Yeah, but men are good with doing, the compound, we do flowers and stuff. So that will give me some joy at the same time.
Yeah.
So that is when it hit me that maze, guys wako shule, me bado niko home, and what is happening? Because at one point you feel like you need to be growing with your peers, and many times we blame God. Until I learned that feelings are temporal. Okay? Sometimes you feel good, sometimes you don't feel good. Sometimes you feel love, sometimes you don't feel love. Sometimes you feel forsaken, sometimes you feel maze, God I'm clear. But the truth of the matter is God is always there and everything works together for good. When I joined my certificate course in Great Lakes University of Kisumu, I applied for a section. And I lost. I remember I was a prefect in primary. And when I went to Nakuru campus, MKU, I also lost. I applied for sports. And so, coming here, vying for president, and I won, then you realize that it is in you, and maybe that was not the right time. Maybe in terms of capability, in terms of maturity, in terms of skill. Maybe at that time, God maybe saw Maze Umzai's lead at this level. And just like also the skill that we get also makes you want to do more. Because when I vied for the Secretary General, I was doing a certificate course. A certificate students cannot vie for that post because SecGen, these are what we call signatories. So that went like that. When I went to Nakuru campus, I was vying for sports, but I realized it when I was here. The question was, why are you not vying for sports, yet you are a sportsman? And I realized most of the Friday, Saturday, I don't squander around because I'm a sportsman. That means I'm also going to play. That means I'm participating. So if I vie for a sports office, how am I going to manage people when I'm not around? That is why I didn't vie for sports. I went. So that was, to me, that was training. Losing a sports minister in Nakuru campus, losing a SecGen office in Great Lakes was a training, and to make me realize. So sometimes you'll feel lonely, and it's also good to understand one thing. Loneliness is not really the absence of people. Loneliness is not really the absence of God. Loneliness is also not just having people who make you feel lonely. Loneliness is the absence of purpose. Loneliness is the absence of direction. Because if you have purpose, you have direction. That is what makes you wake up every morning. That is what makes you want to do more every week. That is what makes you want to plan that in 4 years, in 3 years, this is what I want to achieve. So sometimes we will feel that, but let's just understand that it's good to feel, lonely is good to feel, for second it's good to feel, but the truth of the matter is, loneliness is just a feeling, and feelings are temporal, they are not permanent. So there is a brighter day ahead. If you can only identify your purpose and your direction, and then follow after that.
Yes. That's so fantastic. Do you think in this current generation, the youths or the teenagers are living a purposeful life? Like a large percentage of them, are they living a purposeful life?
I wouldn't say a percentage, but we have youths who are living a purposeful life. True. We also have those who are living a purposeful life, but they don't know. And we also have those who don't know, and they are living a life of any kind. The thing is, they usually say, if you know who you are, then you don't know who you are not.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
If I know I'm Martin and I'm black and I'm tall, and I'm this and that, then I know I'm not brown, I know I'm not short. Yes. But if you don't know who you are, then anyone can mention or give a name of anything, and you'll fall for any of them.
Yeah.
So if you don't know your purpose in life, if you don't know your direction, then anyone can just grab you and you'll be doing all sorts of things. Yeah. And I actually give a question of how we live our lives. If you know you are a media student, how should you carry out yourself? If you know you are someone taking nursing, you are someone doing education, you are someone in catering, you are someone, whatever field you choose to be, there is a system and there is a way on how to carry out yourself in every field.
It's true.
Okay?
Yeah.
Someone doing education knows I'll be a teacher. And therefore, you cannot be this shy person who can talk in front of people.
Yeah.
Because you'll be teaching anyway.
Yeah.
And also, an example of the same in education would be, how do you carry out yourself? Someone in education or in nursing, you can't go like my dress, my choice, even in media personality.
Yeah.
Because it can't just be anything for anyone.
Yeah.
It has to be defined.
True.
This is my line, this is my career, this is my purpose, this is what I stand for. All these things will make you and define you in how you carry out yourself, how you talk to people, how you address people. Okay, because that is what matters. Basically, our purpose and direction is not really defined by material things or papers. You know, someone has a certificate and you feel like a diploma ako juu yako, or a master student will feel like ako juu ya huyu mwingine, or a PhD. That's not really the question. Apart from all this, how do you carry out yourself? That is one. Apart from all this, what respect do you give to people? How you handle a senior person? How you handle a junior person? How do you handle the men at the gate? Yeah, I read someone in Facebook, I don't know if you saw that post, it was also running in our WhatsApp platforms, that that watchman at the gate is also someone's dad. Okay? He's also someone's husband. So how do you handle these people? How do you handle these people? How do you handle these people who wash around, the people who do the cleaning? How do you handle your teachers? Okay? That will only be defined by the moment you know your purpose, because your purpose gives you some sense of direction. It gives you some sense of sensitivity. It gives you some sense of, you know, you are able to see beyond the now. Okay? So I believe many of our youths are still identifying their purposes. Many are also engaging, and many are also have found, and maybe they just need people to talk to them. Because if I give you a cup of tea and I put sugar in it and I don't stir it out, you might drink the tea and feel there is no sugar.
Yeah.
So many are in that state, that they have something within them, but the stirring.
They need someone.
Yeah, they need that stirring. They need someone to talk to them. They need someone to show them. And also, we as youth, we need to make a step. Okay, you can't wait for mentors and teachers and sponsors to come to you. And by sponsors, I mean those who help you. Okay, you can't just wait for them to come to you. We also need to make a move to go towards them. You make a move to. For example, in our when I was a student leader, I noticed when we have entertainment events, I mean the hall is full, the arena will be full, the arena will be crowded. But when you organize a session in terms of a seminar, okay, a mentorship program, a seminar, a teaching kind of thing, then you see people come feel. Why? Because we just want things that excite us. But let's understand that when we do these seminars that we are taught, that one dwells within us.
It's true.
Every event is good, every event is healthy. So with the same energy you use, with the same energy you use to go to entertainment events, it's the same energy you should use to go to class, it's the same energy you should use to go to seminars, it's the same energy you should use to go to, mentorship programs.
Yeah,
so that you are building yourself, you are building capacity. Okay?
Yeah.
And they usually say opportunity favors what? Prepared minds. Yeah. Opportunity favors prepared minds. You can imagine if I was not prepared to come and talk about purpose, and then all of a sudden I'm here, it becomes a lot of confusion.
True.
If you did a setup before we came here, the camera guys were prepared.
True.
They've been trained. They've been working on it. So that is how it comes out to be this glorious thing.
Yeah.
So preparation, capacity, all comes by us, sitting down, being humble, being teachable. Because mentorship is all about, followership. Okay? There is someone who has gone towards this journey. There is someone who has passed this road. Yeah? So ukitoka hapa tuseme utembe and you go towards a certain road, you know the road better than me who haven't gone through that road. And so you are able to guide me and tell me, you know what, Martin, this road kuna shimo pale, kuna shimo the other side.
Yeah.
So you is coming, me niliingia kwa hii shimo, you is coming, please, don't enter into this mess.
Yeah.
Don't enter into this challenge that I got into. That is all about mentorship. So we who are still being mentored, because myself, I also sit down I have people who teach me, I have people who mentor me, I have people who tell me, I have people who rebuke me, I have people who criticize me. That is what makes someone better. Yeah, it's all about followership, that we should be followers of them who through faith and patience, they have inherited some promises, they have made it to some area. Yeah, if I wanted to be a student leader as a president, what did I do? I had to identify those who were there before me.
Yeah.
I had to talk to them all the way from the first president, Adin Muliro. I talked to Muliro, I talked to President Omog, I talked to Mushisho, I talked to Kimani, I talked to Mwangi, I talked to Karondo.
So that they tell you how
Yeah,
their
so that
journey,
they tell me about their journey.
Uh-huh.
And when you come, you're able to know, this is the challenge so and so faced, so I'm able to evade it. Now, this is what someone did, I'm able to do that better.
Yeah.
Okay?
Exactly. Yeah.
But if you want to come, the challenge we have, even in leadership, is that you find someone has planted a tree, or someone ameweka brick first floor, wewe unataka ubomoe hiyo first floor yote, you want to build your own. But the joy should be, first floor ishajetengenezwa, all you need to do is have the second floor, the other leader, the third floor. And at the end of the day, there is growth. You remember what we mentioned about the tree?
Yeah.
Someone planted the seed, there is someone who comes and waters the seed. As it continues to grow, someone takes care of it, so that animals, you see, Kaocha, we do some barricade, okay? And someone will come and harvest the fruits. But at the end of the day, every fruit from this tree will benefit every leader from the one who planted.
It's true.
And the shadow that will come, they say one tree that gives a shadow to a community, all the community members benefit from this shadow.
It's true.
And so that is what we need to look forward to. But again, we can't look forward to the same unless we identify our purpose in life and we know that this is the direction I'm taking towards my vision.
Wow.
Yes.
Indeed, we are having a fantastic show here, receiving powerful bites from our guest, Owila. We want to take a short break. When we'll be right back, he will be telling us who inspires him. He'll also be telling us who his greatest inspiration is, and we'll also continue to receive more and more powerful bites from him. We are taking a short break. We'll be right back. Don't go away.